Hello and welcome to Carrying On, a deep dive into my record collection here in Thailand. This week, Mark Murphy's Mark II. Born in 1932 in Syracuse, New York State, Mark Murphy was a versatile, highly talented jazz vocalist, equally at home with traditional jazz standards or improvising lyrical compositions. He first came to prominence in 1950s New York, moved to London in the 1960s. And although he specialized in standards and ballads, he was also at home with soul jazz and contemporary, more up-tempo jazz artists and DJs like Giles Peterson later in his career. Released in 1961, Ra was his early career high point, and Midnight Mood, recorded in Germany and released in 1970, also competes for the title of his most complete record. In 1973, Mark started a 14-album relationship with the Muse record label, with the excellent Bridging a Gap album. He apparently was paid a standard rate for each album, regardless of sales. In return, he had complete artistic freedom, which is where this album comes in. Mark II, his second album for Muse, which was recorded in December 1973, when I was less than 2 months old, believe it or not. 10 tracks that span much of Mark's huge talent as a vocalist, ranging from jazzy ballad versions of Bread and the Band to soul jazz beauties written by Stevie Wonder and Joni Mitchell, an amazing ballad written by David Crosby, and a couple of his own compositions, including the upbeat soul jazz album highlight, They. So this can be seen as an attempt to gain Mark a wider audience, and some of his more orthodox jazz fans turn their nose up at this rock, soul, and folk influenced material. However, I think this is a real gem. It opens with Chicken Road, a gorgeous arrangement of an obscure song Mark had been thinking about for years. Lyrically sardonic about small town life, I never tire of the melodic beauty of this tune. I saw him live once in London, and he did a great set of mainly Cole Porter jazz standards. In the break between sets, I had a chat with him and requested this song. He had to cast his mind back 30 years, filtering through the 51 albums he made in his career, and politely said he was going to stick to Cole Porter that night. Lovely guy, though. The album continues with a couple of reflective ballads, Too Much Love and Unfaithful Servant. The tempo and familiarity of these songs then increases as Stevie Wonder's Looking for a Pure Love is given Mark's tender vocal treatment, bringing new levels of pathos and yearning to this quite simple song. Then Joni Mitchell's excellent bar and grill has a superb two guitar arrangement that brings out the playfulness and tunefully literate feel of this song. It's wonderful. Flip over the record, and Triad, written by David Crosby, weaves a sinewy tune around an intriguing lyric about encouraging a third party to enter a sensual love triangle of some kind. Mark sings it with such passion that, as the excellent liner notes mention, you wonder if Mark had ever been in this situation himself. Another highlight arrives straight after, one of two songs written by Mark for this album. They is an upbeat soul jazz beauty, and another witty lyric imagining the intentions of aliens coming to Earth and how they would act here. It's so good, it makes you wish Mark had written more of his own material, particularly in this light-hearted, musically soaring soul jazz style. The tempo slows on a cover of the band's Sleeping, which leads into Lemmy Blues, a looser tune with some lovely bluesy guitar lines and vocals from Mark. The album ends with a cover of Bread's Truckin', the most straight-up rock track on the album. It's quite fun, although it doesn't quite fit in with the more soulful, subtle material that dominates this idiosyncratic yet highly accessible and enjoyable record. Unfortunately, much of Mark's 1970s material, including this album, is not available on Spotify, and there has not been a CD reissue to my knowledge, which is a real shame. But it is, however, right here on YouTube to listen to, and the vinyl is available on Discogs and other places for a fairly reasonable price. So there you are. My first Carrying On review is my personal favorite Mark Murphy album, Mark II. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Mark Murphy album is. There are plenty to choose from. So that's it from me, Julian. Until next time, keep carrying on.